Hello, hello, hello. Happy pre-Friday, as some people like to call it. Sorry, I put my water right in the way. Or, as I like to just call it, it's Thursday. It is what it is. I am Leslie Urbis. I am a registered dietitian and a personal trainer with 12 plus years experience, and I teach the Food Emotion Code. And today, you're in luck. That's exactly what we're going to discuss. So I'll give everybody a couple of seconds to get on because I know sometimes there's a lag from where I'm streaming to where you're streaming, and it's just kind of like woo, 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 la, la, la. Anyways, okay. So if you're here, hashtag live, hashtag replay, I would love to know if you're out there. Today, what are we going to do? We're going to do three things. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit more about why people get results with this and they keep their results. The second thing that I'm going to do is discuss the homework that you guys had been doing these past couple of days and give you the last step, which is part of the first step in walking you through the Food Emotion Code. And then the third thing that I'm going to do is I am going to, sorry, total mind blank, discuss what it is that you have to do in order to complete the Food Emotion Code if you actually want to make the change, okay? So there's going to be some questions in here. I'd love for you to drop some, answers if you feel like it. If not, totally cool as well. But I would love for you to engage today because it's very important for you. Outside of that, let's get started. So as I said, I wanted to start a little bit more with some of these stories. So if you remember back on Monday, I talked about my personal story. I talked about Kristen's story. I talked about Sarah's story. I talked about Carly's story. I have plenty of more testimonials, but I don't want to throw more people out there to you. What I want to explain is why people become successful, okay? What is the key point of their success versus not walking away with it? And the thought process is that they came with the intention in mind that they wanted to shift their entire life. Sorry, I'm just kind of moving my notes here. They wanted to shift their entire life. They were not coming for the piece of paper diet. They weren't coming for, okay, this is your Bible. This is what you follow. You eat this, not that, right? We all have books, tons of books that we could read and we could learn about all the things that we're doing right or wrong, or we could go through the list, or we could hire the trainer, right? So we could do all of these things. But what Carly and Sarah and I and Kristen have in common is that we came wanting to erase who we were in terms of dieting. We didn't want food to control us. We wanted the life-lasting weight loss. We wanted the metabolism pumping for us. Today on my stories, if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, one of the things that I said is that in my 60s, I want to be traveling the world. I don't want to have health issues. And I know what you may be saying, well, my family doesn't have health issues, so why wouldn't I? That's not what I mean. What I mean is that if you automatically believe that your age is playing against you, or that you have a long line of family members who become overweight or obese, that could be playing against you, right? It could be yielding you a lack of a result. And so by getting that lack of a result, you turn into your 60s and now you feel uncomfortable. So you're taking these vacations and you're eating the food and you're like, gosh, I feel so big and I'm so uncomfortable. Sorry, I've got my Make Life Your Way your shirt on today because that's what we're doing here. And it just sucks, right? So here's part of the assignment from what you guys did. I want to kind of tie this into everything, okay? So remember on day one, I'm scrolling back to the homework. On day one, we discussed what emotions play you to eat certain foods, what foods control you, where you're saying good, not bad. How often are you going through that? Hopefully you've been doing that for the past 48 hours. Then on day two, I topped you off with a little bit of a homework there. And then I asked you, what would it look like if this did not control you, right? So here's what I want you to take with that homework assignment right now, okay? So we're literally playing one way or the other. I don't know what's binging at me. Sorry, I think my Facebook is open, so I'm gonna close that so it doesn't bing anymore. I hate the binging. Okay, so let's really focus on this. Okay, so if you're watching with me, I want you to close your eyes. So I'm going to close my eyes just so that way you guys know to close your eyes. Okay, and the way I want you to play this out is that I want you to be thinking about all the things that you've had in your past, how many diets that you've done, everything that you've gone through in the past, and tell me in one word, when you take a deep breath and you think about that, what do you feel? What's the first word? Sucks, lame, feel cruddy, I wish I would lose weight. I have a laundry list of stories of things that I did. I set up my kids to do the same. I'm setting up my future to be in my 60s or 70s and be completely unhappy with my life. Okay. Versus the other side of the story. I call my picture of who I want to be freedom faith. Okay. So what do I mean by that? So I don't have health goals right now. I mean, I always do. It's always, challenging myself in the workout arena and always eating healthy and doing things like that, but truly enjoying my life. So my health challenge is to truly enjoy my life and keep my health as best as it can possibly be, right? But what I mean by freedom faith to me is being able to eat what I want, live how I want, travel how I want, be how I want, but have the faith that it is going to go that way, that it is going to go the direction that I want to. Okay. So to me, when I say freedom faith, I think of me as I want her to be. Okay. I imagine that. So when I say freedom faith in my head, I imagine the exact picture of exactly where I want to be. So when you draw that picture yesterday of what would life be like if this didn't control you, I want you to think about it and give that person a name. Okay. So one of the big assignments that I've given to the people in the Beat the Scale Food Emotion Code group right now is the starting of where you want to be on December 31st, 2022. Because when you hold the image, when you have that picture in your head of who you are, of where you want to go, of who you want to be, you're able to get to that person a little bit faster. Okay. Because we work in images, we see in images, we get what we want through images. So the first thing that I have you do when you jump into the Food Emotion Code, Beat the Scale, is to really analyze that. Look at where you were versus where you want to be. And let's put that together and design who you need to become to give you the answer. Okay. So step one of this and of the Food Emotion Code is that we need to discuss what it is that you really need. Where are you? Where are you? Are you chronically dieting still? Are you yo-yo dieting still? Are you stuck in the metabolism that won't work? Are you stuck in all those subconscious beliefs that are limiting you, that your body's keeping you holding weight, that it's stopping you because if you lose the weight, then you'll get seen and you don't want to be seen? Or is it helping you control some aspect of your life? Or is it compensating for what you're missing? Or are you doing this because you have poor self-love and you have shame and guilt just wrapped around all of this? Like what's really there? What's really there? And so the first step in your Food Emotion Code is really looking at who you are in terms of a dieting world, right? So one of the things that I've always done with myself is I've always made it hard. I've always made it hard to lose weight, right? When I was in high school, I made it hard. I have to do this. I can't go to the bookstore and get the candy like I wanted to. I couldn't enjoy the life that I wanted to because I wasn't skinny enough. I wasn't that person. To this day, people will be like, you look good, or like, you're really pretty. And I'll be like, yeah, okay, whatever, right? Because those people are still in my head. Now, not so much. I'm like, thank you. I really enjoyed the compliment. I know. All right. Anyways, but it took me a while to get there. And so when we talked on day one about how you go to the mirror and you talk to yourself and you're like, self, I need to do this, 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 and this. And so you go through the processes of counting the points or counting the numbers or doing whatever it is, and you get the results. Your brain didn't change. So you go to the mirror and you're like, God, I'm still fat. Like, I'm still unhappy. I still got this arm sag. I've still got the C-section overlay. I've still got this. But wait, you just lost 20 pounds or 30 pounds, or you reclaimed your metabolism, or you finally feel good about yourself. So you and your husband are enjoying yourself a little bit more, if you know what I mean. Okay. Like, really think about that. Really think about that. The reason why you don't get the results you want or the good feelings that you want is because you're actually not following through with the next step. You're still believing you are that fat, overweight, unhealthy, unhappy person. And so you never get the shift. Instead, you lose the 20, 30 pounds and you're still unhappy. Okay. And then, like we talked about yesterday, because you didn't shift any of that, your brain's like, well, we got you to this goal, but we still resonate that we're fat. And you're proving it to us by looking in the mirror, being like, gosh, you're still ugly and fat. Right. So let's just gain it back. And subconsciously it tricks you and tricks you and tricks you and tricks you. And when you're able to ignore it for a little while, okay? Especially because you don't want to throw away the bigger clothes. Uh-oh, only today because it's raining. Sorry, it's raining today, so I expected that to happen. Anyways, so you're expecting yourself to fail already. So you're setting yourself up for that exposure, okay? So step number 1 in Beat the Scale program, in the Food Emotion Code, is what do you really need? Where are you right now, and where do you want to go? And how do you get there? Okay, so that's number 1. I sometimes call it building the basics, okay? Because everybody thinks, okay, the basics are like macros, or the basics are like counting the Weight Watchers points, or whatever it may be, right? Believe it or not, everybody has different basics. We're all on a different channel. You know, some of you out here may know what a carbohydrate and a protein and a fat are, and some of you may be like, what? I don't really know what they are. I pretend. Okay. Like I think maybe meat is a protein, but I don't really know. Right. So everybody's at a different spot in the beginning of things. So we need to know where you're at so you can get the results that you're looking for. Okay. So that's step number 1. What do you really need? Okay. By the way, I'm creating the exact roadmap of what it is that you're going to need in order to make this Food Emotion Code part of your life and to get there. Okay. Yes. I am trying to tell you that Beat the Scale program is the way to do it. It is how all of my testimonials have done it. It is how they continue to do it. It is how a couple of testimonials that I'll drop below did it. And they're still sitting where they want to sit, okay? There's none of this like, let me go backwards, okay? Let me regain this. One of my favorite clients, she was one of my first clients, 2018, okay? 2018. And she was 60. She was 59 when we started, and she lost 35 pounds while working with me, okay, at 59. She is now, I think, 63, if that makes sense in my head. Yeah, she's about to be 63, and she is 35 pounds down, fitting into clothes that she never fit in her life, and keeping that weight loss. She used to yo-yo diet like crazy. Like when I say this, like I have known her, Cindy is her name. I have known Cindy since I was probably like 9. Okay. And I remember Cindy being big. I remember Cindy being small. And when I say big, she really wasn't that big. I remember all of those things. Okay. I really, truly do. So now she's not like that at all. 35 pounds down in January of 2018 to February of 2018. It took her about 2.5 months to drop the weight, and she's never gained it back. Never, ever, ever has she gained the weight back. Can you believe it? Like through this, and she lives this, and she takes the vacations, and she enjoys her food, and she does everything she wants to do. And you can too, okay? Through this pattern, okay? First thing is you have to, 1, draw that picture in your head. This is the first step of the Food Emotion Code, okay? It is where am I now, which you did on day 1, versus where I want to be, which you did on day 2, and drawing the picture and getting yourself to that place, okay? So what some people will say here is, okay, I'm going to write down this roadmap. I'm going to follow my instructions, and I'm going to go do this on my own, okay? Let me tell you, Weight Watchers makes money because people that go on Weight Watchers and stay on Weight Watchers consistently get results. If you've ever been on any diet and then you try to do it on your own, you have the story about how you lost it and gained it back, okay? This is not about that story today. This is about beating that story today. This is about becoming a person you want to be and changing your life from chronically dieting, from craving to have a good metabolism, from emotionally connected to food to actually getting results. The end. Okay? So step number 1 is that, and that is what we call what you really need, or learning your basics. Okay? Step number 2 is the identity shift. We have to shift the inner workings of ourselves, okay? We have to move in the direction in which we want to go, okay? So clear sign about this is, I'll use my kids for an example, okay? 2 totally different people, okay? While they look extremely a lot alike, they're 2 totally different people from the beginning of time. Like my daughter did not crawl. My son crawled at like 7 months. My daughter would sit and play quietly with a toy. My son, no, not at all. When he gets home, he wants to be cuddled for like 20 minutes. And if I don't give it to him, it's like heck, Okay. So two totally different people. Okay. Just like you're a different person. Okay. Now, let's say I tried to swap their roles. Okay. Larry is trying to like ride a tricycle at this age, and Lily's just kind of getting into a tricycle and they're 2 years old. If I tried to swap them and tried to be like, Lily, I need you to go, do something crazy outrageous that Larry's doing right now, Lily'd be like, nope, ain't happening. Okay, I'm not going to do that, Mom. I don't feel comfortable with doing that, Mom, right? Okay, so you know that from yourself, right? But what you're trying to do through dieting is shift yourself into being a skinny person. But if you've chronically always been overweight, or you've chronically yo-yo dieted, or you've chronically seen these results, or you've chronically done all these things, your identity is to do them. That subconscious mind is sucking you back in. So how do you get out? Through the identity shift. So we have to move you in that direction. So you start to change that so you see a different result, okay? The next thing is the mentality shift that we talked yesterday. It's mentally getting you out of, that is a bad food. Exercise is good, but I hate it. I'm okay with exercising under this certain condition, right? Like the differences in terms of those things, right? So moving the mentality shift, taking away the good, the bad, the ugly, the names, the la la la's have to go. You have to mentally shift what's happening. So how do we do that? We help you to erase those things, but the only way we can erase those things if we know what those things are. So we start by you identifying what those things are. We start with you saying, oh, okay. So like Leslie, I've processed that, I crave chocolate at this time of day because the sun goes down. Or like today, it's rainy, which is why this lighting just stinks today, okay? It's raining. And so most people are a little bit more tired on rainy days, or they make poor decisions on rainy days, or they maybe sleep more, or they maybe eat more, or they crave more carbs because there's something out here controlling them. Something is taking a hold of them. Mentally, mentality shift, we have to be able to take control of that. So you have to step into that power, and that's what we need to do next. The next thing is an emotional shift. Okay, so remember how I told you that foods have those emotions, okay? So one of my previous clients, and this was back when I worked at the Naval Hospital, I remember her coming into my office, and it was like this, very similar like this. This is my book of the things that I eat and the things that I don't eat, okay? And the things that I'll do and I won't do. And my husband is coming back into town, who's on deployment, and he hates this, and I don't know how to stop it. And I'm like, okay, what do you mean you don't know how to stop it? What do you mean you don't know how to stop it? Well, here's the deal. I know how bad a hot dog is for you, and I can't seem to eat the hot dog. If I eat the hot dog, I feel massive guilt. I stop eating. I overwork out myself. I do all of these things. So I need help with this book, okay? Okay, there's a lot of emotional attachment there, okay? Somewhere in her head, it became that the hot dog was the enemy, okay? So there was a lot of emotional shifts that we had to do. We had to move her around food. We had to change some of those things with her around food, okay? We had to move her into the presence of food is food, okay? Food is fuel. No matter what way you slice it, whether I'm looking at a piece of pizza or a plate of chicken, broccoli, and rice, right? Which we all deem as like the chronic diet food, okay? I have the same things, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. There's no difference between these two plates, but your mind is saying awful, healthy, skinny, fat, healthy, trash, okay? I'm giving you multiple analogies there because I want you to know that everybody's brain is a little bit different. Not all of us say this is good, this is bad, okay? We have different words depending on how we were raised and where we were raised, right? Sort of like, is soda soda or is it pop, right? So we go through these pieces of what way does it really happen? What way does it really go? How does it really count? So the emotional shift in food is removing that. So when she came in with her black book of all the things she should and shouldn't do, just getting her to a party to eat food without guilt was a huge win. a huge win, because there was so much guilt tied into just being free that if I ate that pizza, man, I've got to feel massive guilt for it. But it's no different than the chicken, the broccoli, and the rice. It's the same carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. And your body, once it's on the inside, does not say, ooh, that carbohydrate came from pizza versus, ooh, that carbohydrate came from chicken or from rice. It doesn't know the difference, but you do, okay? So the fourth piece is, make sure is the emotional shift, okay? The fifth piece is changing the beliefs that you have about dieting, about food, about life, about all of these things. We must conform and change the way we're looking at our world to make the world look a little bit differently. Okay, that's how the diet world gets you. Okay, the diet world then trains you to have your belief of Weight Watchers is the answer, Noom is the answer, Optavia is the answer. Working with a doctor who gets maybe 2 hours of nutrition help is your answer. Okay. But it's not your answer. It's just the thing that you've been ingrained with. So now you believe it, okay? You were raised in a family that chronically dieted, so you chronically diet. You were raised in a family that says this scale is the way of life, and if you don't have the right number on the scale, you're not worth anything, okay? So you must also shift that as well, okay? And the last thing is your habits. We're never going to get anywhere unless we start to change those habits, okay? Habits have to be changed. So let's just focus on your habit in the morning, okay? You wake up in the morning and you get out of bed. We talked about this. Do you pee first? Do you make coffee first? Do you weigh yourself first? What is it that you do first, okay? Whatever you do first, you probably typically do first. Now, don't get me wrong, every once in a while there may be the day that you don't, okay? But whatever you do first, you do first. Like the other day in one of the courses that I'm in, I always listen to the replay when I'm doing this stuff around the house. And the site was down and my brain was like, what are we going to do? This is just awful. We're not following the right footsteps. I was in a bad mood for like the first 45 minutes of my day because I didn't do the day like I always do the day, right? Just a simple thing like that. So your habits are there. So if you're one of those habitual people that chronically diet or that eat a certain way or have pizza every Friday or whatever, when you lose that habit, maybe you can temporarily do it, you eventually go back to it because it's just the way your brain is wired, okay? So these 6 pieces are the roadmap that you need in order to succeed and see the loss that you're looking for, to beat your own food emotion code, so that way you can be in the presence, beat the scale, and love your life. Okay? There's nothing else you can do. I don't care what other diet you say right now. Well, it's cheaper to do this, Leslie. It's easier to do this, Leslie. I'm going to go take my answer and go do this, Leslie. I don't care what you say. Okay? And I'm not trying to be rude with that. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I have the answers and I am the O's wise one or anything like that. What I'm trying to say here is that it doesn't matter what other diet you do. I can guarantee you that you'll get results if you follow somebody else's diet. My question is, will they be sustained? Will you be happy? Have you been able to do the things that you say you want to do? That's the key that we're looking for, right? The food emotion code and the Beat the Scale program that I run is for people who actually want the results and they want to sustain the results. People that actually care that they want the last diet program they'll ever need. They want the solution. They're tired of their metabolism not working, food controlling them, hating their life, not getting results, or worse, getting results and not keeping them. The people that want the answers are the people that need to join this. So what does the Food Emotion Code Beat the Scale program look like? It is a 6-month program. Okay, we meet every other week live like this via Zoom, okay? And it's about a 45-minute call every other week. And on that call, we go through the basics that we need to be going through. Then you get a special Facebook group for just those in the group where I go live every morning and I give you some sort of action, some sort of thought, some sort of tidbit for you to make it through your day that has to do more with what we talked about that previous Monday, okay? Now, we're going to be doing that for 2 weeks straight. Now, the great thing is that you get questions asked and answered all the time. So you can post questions directly to the Facebook group and I answer them sometimes the next day on the live, but I'm going to go live every Friday in that group and answer everybody's question. So you can personally pop on there with your question and get everything answered. And when I say everything, I mean that if you came with 20 questions, I would answer all 20 questions and be on that live until I've answered everybody's questions. You deserve your questions answered every week and you deserve them answered thoroughly. If I had to have you ask some more questions, if I needed more details, we would go and dive deeper into that as well. You're gonna get everything that you need, okay? So every other Monday, we get on a Zoom call together. Every Friday, you get live Q&A. Every day in the Facebook group, you get live action. And then you get a little bit of homework here or there, and people are like, work? No, thank you. What I mean by that is small energy changes, things that you can do to start shifting your food emotion code to get the result that you're looking for. Okay. There's a couple of other things in there, but that's the nitty gritty details. It is 6 months. Every other week we meet live. Every Friday you get a live call in the Facebook group. And then of course there's some other things on the side. Now, the other thing you get is a one-on-one with me. Everybody gets the initial one-on-one with me in the first month. Okay. If you choose to join the Beat the Scale program and you choose to do it in the next 24, I think 48 hours is what we gave it. Next 48 hours, you will get an additional 3 calls with me. Now, it's technically 1 additional call because I'm going to give everybody a call every other month. Okay. So I'm going to be honest with that when I said that the wrong way because my brain was just thinking weird because of 6 months. So let me go back to that. You're going to get a one-on-one call with me in month 1, month 3, and month 5. Okay. If you choose to sign up in the next 48 hours, you will get 1 additional one-on-one call with me, okay? That is choosing to sign up with me to do the Beat the Scale program in the next 48 hours. It is life-changing, okay? This is for serious people only, okay? And I'm not even gonna tell you the investment right now because I'm not trying to get you to say yes or no here. I want you to get on a call with me because the Beat the Scale program, which is continuing, all 4 of the ladies or 4 of the ladies that are in there are staying in there and they're doing amazing. And I want the right people in there. Okay. So everybody comes on these things and they sell in the videos and stuff like that. That's not what I wanted to do. These past 2 days, 3 days, including today, have been some of the best times that I've ever loved teaching. This is what I love to do. I love to help people change their food emotion code. I love to help people get out of dieting. I was put here on this earth to end dieting. And that is truly what I want. I want to be seen as a pioneer of this dietitian that teaches that you actually don't need the diet to lose weight. You need to do these other things instead. So that way you get this life shift and you don't diet for the rest of your life or die when you eat a piece of pizza. Okay? That's what this program is about. And if you want to do it, I implore you to sign up and do a call. It will take a little bit of time. Yes, it will take an investment in yourself, but it will stop you from spending the next 20 years of your life chronically dieting. It will stop you from spending the rest of your life from buying MLM supplements and every other thing that we've talked about in these past few days. If you don't believe me, check the testimonials. I'll put the link to every testimonial below this. I hope you explore. I truly believe that there is no better program out there than the Food Emotion Code. And I am here to help you see that you are worth it and that you deserve it and that there is no other answer, okay? The 4 ladies that are in the Beat the Scale program right now that are getting the results they want are changing their lives. And that's important to me. And I want people in there that want to do the same. So book the call. It's 30 minutes of your time to find out if the food emotion code is right for you and what yours is and would this be a good fit. It's not about saying no or saying yes or, oh my gosh, this gets real. It's about you. When we started this call, and this is how I'm going to end it, I asked you to remember on day 1 what it was that you didn't like, and day 2 what it was that you wanted. How much do you really want what you say you want? Because that's where the gold is. The gold is how much do you really want what you say you want? If you really want a pool, you're going to find a way to pay for the pool. If your kid really needs braces, you're going to find a way to get your kid braces. If you really want to end dieting, you're going to find a way to do this. And nothing I will say on this call right now would change that if it's something that you really want to do. So at the end of this call, I will go back to each live stream. I will post the link so you can book a call directly with me, 30 minutes of your time, so I can help you get that food emotion code. If you are signed up for this, you will get the links and the details for the program. So it's going to come with or without me telling you everything, so you can have it all written down on a piece of paper. And if you have questions, please feel free. Shoot me a message. I would love to see you inside the Beat the Scale program. It starts April 4th. It's a Monday. I hope to see you guys there. All right. Bye, guys. Have a great, Thursday. One more thing as I forget. If you want to do the live Zoom call tomorrow, you got to message me. So far, nobody said they wanted to do the Q&A, so I'm not going to go through with it unless somebody changes their mind and says, hey, I want to pop on the Q&A with you. Outside of that, I'll see you guys later.